back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at Galactic Cruise. This behemoth here is one of the hottest worker placement games out there. People are comparing this to a Lacerda game. It is not. It's from Kinson Key Games, designed by TK King, Colton Thompson, and Dennis Northcott. But this worker placement game has a theme of you work in a business where you are developing, building, planning out a galactic cruise to go out into space. You're recruiting you're advertising your cruise. You're recruiting the people that are going to go on it. You're building the spaceship, deciding what rooms are going to be in it, and then you send it off. And it's getting a lot of high praise. And just right off the bat, I mean, this box is, first of all, so loaded that the top is bubbling here a little bit. Hopefully that calms down. But just right off the bat, this is so simple, but I don't know why more people don't do this. There's little cutouts here for my fingers. Here, I'll show you. Just right there. So simple, but it made lifting up the lid so much nicer. Nicely designed interior. That's another nice touch that not everybody is doing. So here we go. Lots of storage in here. Very excited about that. We have a welcome pack. It's kind of bent up, but this is cool. Let's take a look at this. See what's inside. It's not flat, I'll tell you that much. Welcome to Galactic Cruise. My name is Travis E. Preston, founder and CEO of Galactic Cruise. Ever since I was a boy, my eyes have been trained upward. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is not a like Kickstarter thank you letter. This is almost like theme. This is like dripping with theme, kind of. Hey, welcome to the company. What you got here? What else do we got here? Galactic Cruise, your workstation and you. Oh, very nice. This is such a nice little touch. They could have just thrown this in there and I would have been happy with it. But they made it this little pamphlet like you would get on your first day of work for organizing your workspace. That, I like that. What else we got? I'm just smitten about my little starter package here. Ooh. There's a a name badge, supervisor, and a little thing here. I mean, this is completely unnecessary, but we're gonna take it out and look at that. Look at that. And this is retail, ladies and gentlemen. I saw this on Kickstarter and just didn't pull the trigger at the time, but yeah, so this is like Kickstarter touches here in a retail version of the game. I don't know, maybe my FLGS got like the base Kickstarter versions. I don't know. All right, we have 4 little ship game trays. I don't know if they're game trays. They don't say game trays on them. I'm gonna guess that these maybe are for each individual player, because this is 1 to 4 players. So these are completely empty. These are what are causing the lid lift at the moment. So let's set these off to the side. Oh, these are game trays. I can see it now. Game trays, game trays, game trays. All right, more game trays. They're just everywhere. The game trays have a game tray to fit them in. I mean, wow. This is going to be a fun reboxing video, ladies and gentlemen. I can just tell. All right. Here we have some of the player pieces here. Big, chunky wooden meeples, cogs, the whole 9 yards here. So we've got a couple things here. So these are going to be cogs you kind of place out to connect the like worker placement spots. So that if you put your worker down in one location, if you have one of your little cogs connecting the next location, you can actually use that the action spaces on there. And so you have 2 different types of workers. I think the bigger one's kind of like a I don't think he's like a grande worker, but he's like he's called an expert worker. I think he gets a little bonus when you use him, but you have to unlock him. We got reputation. Not quite sure what that one is, but little trackers. We got some other cubes. These are kind of to track your progress throughout the game. We have your little your travel agent Meeple there. I think that covers everything. So there is a bag of these for each color here. So you can see we got yellow, green, pink, and blue. Right off the bat. I feel like I don't get to say this enough, but thank you for creating 4 colors that are clearly distinguishable. I'm seeing far too often people using like pastels or light colors or like a brown and a darkish blue or something, and they all look the same. These are clearly different. You can clearly tell these apart. I just want to give you know, the company their kudos where kudos are due. We have some neutral trackers here for these are going to be used in 2-player and solo games. Kind of fill in. These are going to be your resource trackers. So track your oxygen, water, and food for buying things. All nice and chunky here. We've got some foam blocks. And we've got okay. This looks like it's going to hold the kind of ship tips and ship engines. So the cockpit and the engine will go in there. And then we've got, you know, these are nice. Well, card trays. These are either going to be the ship parts, I think, that'll make up the parts in the middle. We have some cards. I think there's going to be way more cards here, but we can take a look at these real quick. I don't know why these are sticking out ahead of the rest, but so these are going to be for the solo mode. This is basically going to tell you where they need to place their worker. And then if decisions are going to need to be made, you're going to do 6 and 1. But these are going to be flipped over. So you actually look at the top card of the draw pile to determine where and what they're doing. But then these are the actions that they're going to take. So pretty simple, straightforward AI system. There is a varying levels of difficulty. So we're going to have a lot of fun playing this one solo. I think these are agenda cards. So these are basic, just kind of actions you can take. You can basically place a worker to gain some of these, but then you could also say discard them for their resource here. So if I really needed a food resource, I could discard this card. Or if I really needed a water resource, I could discard this card. But they basically just are kind of slight game-changing actions that you can take. So, but there's definitely should be more cards in here somewhere. All right, but let's already like running out of room here, but a nice tray for your game trays. Ooh, man. All right. Training manual. Now, I've been, wow, this is big. I have been looking at this online, and I would like to say another kudos to these guys. And I think part of these things is why this game is becoming so popular. This is an incredibly well-written rule book. You know, campus. So right off the bat here, let's just talk about this. This isn't setup. A lot of times companies just jump right into setup. Here, they're like, let me give you a tour. I mean, this thing is dripping with theme. Even the rule book is designed in a way that makes you feel like you're working at a company here. But they just tell you what all the areas of the board are before they then get into setup. Here's intro game setup. Then they have standard setup. And then they have your individual player board. and they do setup and anatomy on the same page. So they gave us a tour of the overall board, the shared board, and now they're giving us a tour and how to set up our individual player board. I felt like I could almost have played the game after reading just those 2 pages. Then what they're doing here is they've basically broken it down. I think they did this here on the very first page here. Key concepts are going to be in gray. Examples are going to be in blue. This lady here, Zoe, her name is, she's going to pop up and gives you some important stuff. But if you've already read through the rule book, maybe you can skip over Zoe. Maybe you just touch on key concepts. And the green is, again, just keeps you in the theme. So, again, just this rule book was very well done. This is not a lightweight game by any means. This is definitely a heavy Euro style game. We're just going to be honest with that. But the rule book was very well done to get through. So, they have their things here that, each player usually gets about 20 turns. And then you're here, and then it says, wait, before moving on, read the key concept boxes, right? So it shifts your focus, read through here. And then I read through the examples, and the examples are all well done. I actually remember in reading through the digital version was worried that these pictures were not going to be big enough, but this is a nice big rule book with nice big pictures. So I'm perfectly, I'm okay with that. I feel like some of these pictures could have been a little bigger, but this is already a pretty big chunky rule book anyways. But just everything's got an example to it. Very colorful. These different things break up. It's not all just monotonous text here. So yeah, very, very happy with the rule book here. Then they have all these, just FAQs they've already come up with there, a little QR code. So you can scan for future ones. 2-player rules, basically just throw some neutral guys out there. Solo rules, we'll be covering all this later. Solo rules, a little extensive, not for the faint of heart. We're still going here with solo rules. And then they've gone ahead and added in the expansions. So a lot of people always complain when a game has expansions, especially numerous expansions, that they have to keep tracking down the different rule books. Well, they've gone ahead, whether you have it or not, the expansions, at least that they have designed up to this point, are already in this core rule book. I don't know. I don't have the expansions, so I don't know whether the expansions will contain a separate rule book or not, but I've already got the information, so I could even read up on what do those expansions offer ahead of time. And then we have company records here. So this is, I believe, just game variants. Zoe's reminders and tips. Okay. Yeah, this is what I thought it was. Just everything, every single little token, card, symbol in the game. It gives you a breakdown of what is covered here. Ooh, reserved for future use. This page is intentionally left blank to leave room for potential future expansions, so all company records can be seen on the same place. That's cool. Ship segment descriptions. This looks to be just pure theme here. So board of directors, playtesters. There we go. All right, so that's cool. Kind of like a reference manual, essentially. All right, we have a very large board here. I might have to show this one off blown out here in a little bit. So yeah, we'll do that. They do have a playmat that I'm very interested in because the playmat actually has cutouts where you would slot in the cards, and so they're not going to shift around, kind of like what Chip Theory does. All right, we've got player boards. These are all dual layer, keeping everything nice and tight. There's a lot of information on these, but again, I've already stated it. It's a heavy Euro. You're going to be tracking your resources here. This is your break room here. Coffee cup reminds me of Arc Nova there. When you bring them back, you can see the hand symbol. That's a pretty universal symbol for you gain something. And like you can see here are some of your options. These are going to be covered up though with things that you can flip over and remove and pull out. But like gain 2 money, gain 2 ads, gain 2, I think that's victory points. And this is gain 2 of any 2 resources. So as you go to destinations in your ships, you're going to be improving, the various types of destinations. So within your ship, you can have rooms, and your destinations can be focused on family friendly, relaxing and calm, or adventurous. And so you can kind of focus on all 3, focus on one in particular. When you launch a ship here, you're going to place one of your workers here to be the captain, and they're going to move up, and you'll go through this process of countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, just the theme here is amazing. Everything fits with the theme so well. So I think these just are identical. Yeah. No difference in them. There's the back, in case anybody was wondering. All right, up next here we have, oh no, there's the employee handbook. So this is what I thought. Wonder if these are all in different languages. No? Oh, everybody gets one? Yeah, everybody gets one. Okay. So this, they kept referencing this in the rule book, but this is like, all right, every action explained. Every cockpit scoring explained. Reputation, how do you get and how do you use? Company goals. So again, they easily could have just created one of these, right? And shared it, but they created 4 of them. This is not Kickstarter extras, this is retail. They created 4 of them for a 4-player game, so each one of you has one of these books. Because again, this is a heavy Euro, so people are going to have questions. And it seems to be they've answered them all. All right, before we look at these guys, we'll take a look at this board. I'm going to lay it this way, but normally it's going to be going the other direction here. But you'll see some spots of bonuses you'll get when you match up the customers with the destinations and rooms that they want to be in. But this is where your travel agents are going to be and where your customer queues are going to be. This is kind of like the travel agent center of your business. So you'll have the various cruises, kind of their path, lined up in these spots. You'll move a travel agent down to kind of reserve that cruise. Then you'll attract some people to come to your cruise. And once you've built your ship, then you'll move the people into your ship, you'll return your travel agent and send them off. So, and it'll be random kind of how the people appear here at the beginning and how they get moved down. And here you can see all the people. So this is the relaxing and calm people. They've got a drink in their hand, nice screen printed meeples. These are the adventurous ones. They look like they're about to go parachuting. And then your family ones look like an adult with a child standing in front of them there. So again, more nice, big, chunky. There's not a ton of stuff here, a ton of Meeple stuff, but everything's nice and chunky. And we've removed our second tray, and we've got a whole lot of stuff. So I guess there aren't that many cards. I thought some of this stuff was going to be cards, but it appears to be a lot of cardboard. So again, there's a little notch here in the corner. Most of the time I have to tip the box over just to get to this stuff. I'm noticing what's on the sides of the boxes here as I'm looking around. I'll show you that here in a second as I pull these out. So here, I know that's like super close, but there's one side of the box, there's the relaxing side. Here's the family-friendly side, super close. There's the adventurous side, and then this last one is just kind of the Galactic Cruise symbol. And there's the inside of the box. Again, just all the little touches that I'm just very impressed by. So yeah, everything else is going to be nice cardboard. So not that many cards in the game. I like that too. So here you're going to see your cockpit it's going to give you, scoring criteria. And you actually start with it on this side, I believe, yeah. So with the lines, but as soon as you launch it, you'll flip it over and you remove the -5 scoring condition. So as long as you launch all of your ships, you're good. But if you build a ship and then don't launch it, it's going to cost you some points at the end of the game. Lots of other stuff here. This is the kind of, these are going to be like the action spaces. So those are always going to be rotating. So your game is always going to be different. These are going to be company goals that you're going to be tracking. So this will be different. See, there's a couple of these. And as one person accomplishes it, they move up the benchmark. So that's what those triangles were for, these little guys here that you saw. You'll actually make it harder to accomplish the company goal if you wait until later in the game. Here are ads. You're going to use these to draw in your customers, kind of like currency for your customers. Here you see the bottom, the engine parts. This is where you're going to take tokens off of your player board and add them here. So you're improving your engine in a way. Here's what a cruise will look like. These ones are pretty simple here. This one, for example, is going to take, I'm sorry, it wasn't water earlier, it was fuel. So this one would take 2 fuel to send it on. It's going to stop at a family-friendly spot, and then it's going to go to a day in space, kind of like a day on the water on a cruise here. And then you can start to see some of the locations. So shopping hub, fun park, family fair, burger bar. These are going to be rooms or areas inside your cruise ship that people are going to be attracted to. Lots more rooms here. Lots more action spaces. Just lots of stuff here. And you can also see that these rooms are color coded. So this one's attractive to both families and relaxing, whereas the roller coaster park is only for adventurous people. Not that you can't go on a cruise if you're family friendly and have a roller coaster there, but you're going to score more points if you pair up the customers with the rooms they want to be on. So lots of rooms. We're seeing here lots of cruises. Like this one costs more fuel, but it's more stops. Or like here's a couple that are super fuel costs, but it's going to hit every single one. So boom, boom, boom. Here are the progress track tokens. I'm pretty sure these are like used for various player counts. But as these fill up, then you would, there's kind of like period endpoints, big meetings that are held, scoring that happens. I don't know what these are for, to be honest with you. First player token, if you exceed the victory point, 100 points. So yeah, there you go. That is everything inside of Galactic Cruise. Again, this was just the retail edition. This is not the Kickstarter edition or anything like that. So if you are interested in this game, you can go pick it up from your friendly local game store. I believe for right now, you can find this game either on allplay.com, they're the distributor, or in your friendly local game store. You're not going to find this game on Amazon yet, or you're probably never going to see it in Target. But you're also not going to see it. I don't think that Miniature Market, Game Nerds, places like that, you can pre-order it. But if you want to get it today, first check your friendly local game store. Mine personally is Game Theory here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that's where I picked up this copy from, or allplay.com. I think they've got free shipping at that level too. So anyways, up next for this one certainly is going to be a reboxing video. I'm about to have a lot of fun reboxing this one. These type of games with lots of components, but a place for everything and everything in its place is very exciting for me. So wish me luck. Here I go. Up next, reboxing video. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.